In the stillness of the night, under the suffocating blanket of the city's neon glow, there was a man named Arthur. Arthur lived in a small, cluttered apartment on the edge of oblivion, or at least that's how it felt to him. His life was a labyrinth of deadlines, each one a minotaur that chased him relentlessly. The ticking of clocks, the hum of his computer, the incessant beeping of notifications. Time was a beast with many heads, and each one was hungry. Arthur worked as a journalist, but not the kind that wrote about important events or influential people. His beat was the mundane, the unnoticed, the forgotten. He chronicled the lives of those who lived in the cracks of society, the invisible ones. He had always felt an affinity for them, perhaps because he too felt invisible most of the time. His words were his only refuge, a way to make sense of the chaos that surrounded him. But lately, Arthur had felt a tightening in his chest, a gnawing sense that he was running out of time. It wasn't just the deadlines. Those had always been there, like old friends who overstayed their welcome. No, this was something deeper, more insidious. He found himself staring at the clock, watching the seconds slip away like grains of sand through his fingers. He felt as if he were standing on the shore of a vast ocean, the tide rising inexorably, threatening to pull him under. One night, as he sat at his desk, surrounded by the detritus of his life, empty coffee cups, crumpled papers, and half-eaten meals, he received an email. The subject line read, "Your final deadline." It was from a woman named Ilara, a name that seemed to shimmer on the screen. The email was brief, almost cryptic. "Meet me at the old clock tower at midnight. You're running out of time." Arthur's heart raced. He had never heard of Ilara, yet there was something about the message that felt urgent, undeniable. The old clock tower had been abandoned for years, a relic of a bygone era. It stood on the outskirts of the city, a silent sentinel watching over the lives of those who passed beneath its shadow. As midnight approached, Arthur found himself standing at the base of the clock tower. The air was thick with fog, and the tower loomed above him like a monolith, its hands frozen at 1 minute to midnight. He pushed open the heavy wooden door and stepped inside. The interior was dark, save for a single candle flickering on a table in the center of the room. Seated at the table was a woman, her face partially obscured by the shadows. She looked up as he entered, and he saw that her eyes were a deep, penetrating blue, like the depths of the ocean. "You must be Arthur," she said, her voice smooth and melodic. "I've been waiting for you." "Who are you?" Arthur asked, his voice trembling slightly. "I am Ilara," she replied. "I am here to help you find the time you have lost." Arthur frowned. "What do you mean?" Ilara gestured to the clock on the wall. "Time is a construct, Arthur. It can be bent, stretched, even paused. But for you it has become a prison. You are running out of time because you have forgotten how to live in the present." Arthur shook his head. "I don't understand." Ilara stood and walked over to him. "Close your eyes," she whispered. He obeyed, and as he did, he felt a warmth wash over him, a sensation of being lifted, weightless. Images flashed before his eyes, memories of his childhood, moments of joy, sorrow, love, and loss. He saw himself as a boy, running through fields of golden wheat, laughing with friends, playing in the rain. He saw his first love, the touch of her hand, the warmth of her smile. He saw his parents, their faces lined with age, yet filled with pride and love. And then he saw himself, hunched over his desk, the weight of the world on his shoulders, the clock always ticking, always counting down. When he opened his eyes, he was back in the clock tower. Ilara was gone, but the candle still flickered, casting a soft glow. The clock on the wall had started to move again, its hands ticking steadily forward. Arthur took a deep breath and stepped outside. The fog had lifted, and the first light of dawn was breaking on the horizon. He felt a sense of clarity, of purpose. He knew now that time was not his enemy, but a gift to be cherished, to be lived fully and completely. As he walked back to his apartment, he resolved to write his story, not just of the forgotten, but of the found, the moments that made life worth living. For in the end, it wasn't about running out of time, but about making every moment count.